I'm Isaiah Jacob with your sports update. The Cincinnati Bengals will officially have a new quarterback under center Sunday in Green Bay. In his weekly press conference today, head coach Zach Taylor confirmed Joe Flacco will make his Bengals debut at Lambeau Field. Flacco joined the team yesterday via trade from the Cleveland Browns. Up in Cleveland, Coach Kevin Stefanski was non-committal today on whether rookie Shadur Sanders or practice squad quarterback Bailey Zappi will be the team's backup quarterback. Dylan Gabriel set to start for the Browns this coming Sunday. Columbus Blue Jackets president of hockey operations and general manager Don Waddell announced today that the club will sign forward Cam Atkinson to a one-day contract that will allow him to officially retire from the NHL as a member of the Blue Jackets. The club will honor Atkinson prior to the game against the Colorado Avalanche on Thursday, October 16th. Tomorrow night, the Jackets have their season opener at 8 p.m. against the Nashville Predators. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Bring it up for Ohio State.
You've waited all day for this.
Don't let that team stand in the way. He's going to take it to the house. 85 yards. Down the right side going Devin Smith. Got it at the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown.
The one show that's nothing but the Buckeyes.
Oh, Graham Rucker for the touchdown. Kraft shoots it high on the right for 3.
This is the Buckeye Show.
Off and rolling here on a Wednesday. I'm Brandon Beam, hanging out with my guy Justin Zwick. We got Isaiah behind the glass tonight. Jay-Z, happy Wednesday to you, my friend. What a beautiful day here in Central Ohio.
Day and a busy day on the roads. My goodness.
Man.
Getting in here today was something.
Bless everyone who is on the roadways right now or was at some point during the day. My mom and my grandma came up from Dayton. They're going to Florida for a couple of weeks, a month. Wanted to see Willie, wanted to see me. They got up here at like 2 o'clock.
They wanted to see Willie.
They don't want to see me. What am I talking about? And even at that point in the day, she was like, yeah, it's going to take me another hour to get there. I'm just getting inside of the Beltway. And I'm like, oh, boy, that was no fun. Took me about 45 minutes, almost an hour to get to work. And I know that you had the same experience.
Took me about 45, 50 minutes. Yeah, I mean, it's insane out there.
Crazy.
So be safe.
Crazy. We got a great show lined up for you here this evening. Got a 1-hour show coming up here, top of the 7 o'clock hour. We had the Jackets preview show last night. We got the Inside Edge coming up at 7 o'clock. Bobby Mack, Jody Shelley should be a fantastic show for those guys. And I know that Isaiah just told you there in the update. They do start their season tomorrow. They have signed Cam Atkinson to a one-day deal, so he gets to retire Columbus Blue Jacket, which is fantastic. Cam lives here year-round. I know that he was in Philadelphia for a couple of seasons. For them to do that, I think is great. So I'm sure that'll be a big talking point tonight on the Inside Edge, again, coming up here at 7 o'clock. Austin Ward, he's going to join us around 6:17, live from the Woody. Got player availability tonight, got Coach Day available tonight. And then at 6:30, our great friend, former Buckeye, and now on the big desk on NBC, Joshua Perry, is going to join us to react to the crazy weekend in college football. Jay-Z, how you feeling about this Buckeye team now 5 games into the season? Pretty demonstrative win over Minnesota last weekend. Another true road trip coming up into the Champagne Room this Saturday.
Yeah, I think I'm like everybody else in the city, feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, you just keep seeing these young guys go up against, different opponents each week, and every week it seems to be something different. Well, this could, Washington. Well, they're putting up so many points. This could be, one of those games for the Buckeyes having to travel, blah, blah, blah. And then we play them, we beat them, and they weren't really that good, like, well, see what happens next week. And so it's like every week it feels like,
the bar's different.
Everybody's just wanting us to stumble. And, these guys don't do anything but come out and just answer the bell. And, things haven't started right. They haven't gone, well, the entire game, but for somehow this young team is just really dialed in, and they don't let that affect them. They just keep playing, and next thing you know, they're up 2 scores. It's just like that's just how it seems to go. And so I'm almost halfway through the season. I'm feeling really good about these guys.
They're almost like a boa constrictor, right? Especially with this defense. And I know we had talked about it a lot in the preseason. Like, you look at what Jim Knowles did here, and it was very good. First year was a little bit rough. Mm-hmm. Second year got better. And then last year, culminating in a national championship game, the defense was spectacular. Losing 8 guys to the NFL draft, having to replace 8 starters on the defense. All the talk all offseason long about these guys, they've played in games before, but they haven't been starters and they haven't been responsible for things X, Y, and Z. To be 5 games into the season and for this team to be a statistically better defense than one last year with all of those veterans is the biggest upset of the season to me. I thought this defense was going to be good, Justin. I didn't anticipate it being like all world level at this point.
Well, I don't think anybody did. I mean, and you talked about all the players we lost. You forgot, we replaced two coordinators as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, a lot happening in the offseason, in that 3-week period that I feel like they had off before spring ball started. For Matt Patricia to come in here and do what he's done and get these guys on the same page, and with these defenses that just seem to be confusing everybody, whether you've coached for a long time or you're a guy sitting at home watching, you're like, what are they doing now? I mean, where's Caleb? Why is he on the line of scrimmage? Like, it's just amazing how he's able to get these
now
guys.
He's not on the line of scrimmage. Where did he go?
Oh, he's dropping back. Now he's intercepted a ball. It's just every play seems to be different, and they give you a different look. And, for Matt to be able to come in here and get those guys ready to go the way he has. I mean, you had to, because you had Texas coming into town week number 1, but just the continuity of that side of the ball, whether they're running people through and getting some young guys in, or just their starters, it's amazing for 8 new guys to come out and do what they've done. The players, of course, you got to have them, but the scheme and what Matt Patricia has been able to do is amazing.
Yeah, it's nothing short of remarkable. What about offensive side of the football? I know you and I were late night on postgame. You likely weren't listening if you were out there, and you know what? That's okay, because it was about midnight, 1 o'clock when we got done on Saturday evening. But offensively, I know that you and me both have been nothing but pleasantly surprised at the ability and so far effectiveness of Julian Sayin at quarterback. And this was the first time, I feel like maybe all season long, they said, you know what, we've got 17 on our team. We have 4 on our team. Those guys are better than a lot of defensive backs that we're going to play. We're just going to get the ball to them. And some of us were hitch routes, easy throws for Julian. Other ones was, hey, I'm going to let this rip. And he had a couple of nice ones on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that his ability was ever the question. It's just a young guy starting, in a big-time program and in some big-time games. And, he has done nothing to hurt himself. I mean, he's 80-some% completion percentage. I mean, the kid is
number 1 in the country,
unflappable. And I just find it funny that all these Heisman lists I see coming out, just nobody from Ohio State's on him. I mean, we got multiple guys that could be, but that's beside the fact. I think he's played really well.
What are the odds? I saw an updated odds list for the Heisman. Jeremiah Smith is currently 4th in the odds.
Okay, so
behind Ty Simpson, he's at plus 750. Carson Beck, quarterback for Miami, is at 6-1, and then Dante Moore is actually the leader in the clubhouse right now at 5-1. So JJ is in 4th, and then Julian Sayin is in 6th. That's 16-1.
That's one I did not see, but the ones I've seen has had no Ohio State guys. And it's just, I just feel like, how do you do that? They're the best team in the country, seemingly. They've, won all their games pretty handily, and
I think
they have some really amazing
yes,
players. So, I mean, I think that stuff will come, but they just got to keep taking care of business, as Ryan talks about. I love him. He's like, I feel like we're being set up. It's like we're being set up for something.
On Saturday
it's
night.
Awesome, man.
Austin and I talked about it a little bit last night too. Wanted to get his thoughts on what he took away from the press conference yesterday, and then his comments on Saturday evening. I don't know what it is, a shift in mentality, if it's always been in there, like that's who he was behind closed doors, but now that's a different Ryan Day that you're getting in public. And
national championship will do a lot for you.
I think it did.
And now it's just like, I'm just going to come out and be the way I am with the team to the media. And
Schlegels always says, what does he say? Winning a national championship is like a blood transfusion, I think. And he seems to be a different coach. I don't know if he's different inside of the Woody to his players or not, or if that's the way that he's always been. But I think certainly externally, you can tell a massive difference.
Yeah, I think he's probably been that way around the team. Now, maybe not as much, maybe not ramped up as much, on edge as much. But, this year he is, and I think it's great. And I think the players probably feed right into it, and they love it too, because it's easy to buy into that when your coach is talking about it 24/7, because you really do believe. So, that he's been awesome. The offensive line, I saw some today. They're in the only offensive line in the top 5 as far as pass efficiency for, blocking goes. I think that's amazing. Even though we had some guys coming back, we felt pretty good about them.
The sack numbers are low.
Yeah, sack numbers are low. We brought 2 tackles in thinking they were going to be the guys. One of them's playing. It's been really nice to see that offensive line come through in that instance. Now, I would like them to be in the top 5 on the rushing side of things as well, which, I think there's a little to be had there. But, they're playing really well, keeping Julian clean in his pocket. And, even when there's not, he's finding ways out, keeping his eyes downfield, not, going crazy. And, he's the whole offense has been really good. And Brian Hartline, got to give him some flowers too. First year really calling the plays, and he there's at times when we feel like, we're going back to Texas where we're protecting things, but then, they kind of come out of it.
Or the Lincoln package that you saw on the 4th down on Saturday against Minnesota.
Yeah, just quarterback sneak it. Yeah. That's all we have to do. Fall forward.
Running sideways. I can read what you were saying on the sidelines, Coach, but here was Ryan Day's answer about Brian Hartline and what a great start he's off to this season.
I think, he has been really efficient. He's prepared for the games. He's got a good group around him. I think he understands that, and that's, we talk a lot about being, of course, not just calling the plays. It's all the organization leading up to that, which he's learning every day. But he's got a great group of guys around him. He understands that part of it, and he knows at the end of the day it's about players, not plays, and all those things. But when you're doing everything for the first time, there's learning opportunities, which I give Brian a lot of credit for. Like, he's not somebody that gets defensive, or he wants to learn. He has that growth mindset, which is somewhat what we're talking about with quarterbacks. And I think that's why he's done so well just in life and in this game, is because he doesn't have a big ego when it comes to making a mistake. Once he makes a mistake, he's going to learn from it and grow from it, and so that's how you quickly get better at what you're doing. So still a long season to go, a lot of lessons to be learned, but I think for a first-time coordinator, he's off to a great start.
If there's one coach that's coming from out of a place of love, it would be Ryan Day, because he's been in that situation before as the play callers, called plays here many years now, being a head coach at Ohio State. And specifically, you can't have the thin skin. You just can't do it. Okay, I made a mistake, and we just need to quickly move on and learn from it.
Yeah, and that's sports in general, right? I mean, I think you learn that by playing all those years and just dealing with different things, and you have a loss, and all of a sudden, Ryan was a quarterback. Mm-hmm. He knew it was all, it's either the quarterback's fault or he's the reason we won, so you learn to have that thick skin. And, with Brian being in the league and just doing all the stuff that he's done, and he's a very confident person. So, I know he's having a blast. And he's learning, and, he was around Chip Kelly last year, which I think probably helped him a little bit just to see how Chip kind of did it. Because, that is big-time offensive coordinator when we got Chip to come here for that year.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
I think that probably has helped him. But, he's making his way, and they're scoring plenty of points and doing well.
Yes, and the number one team in the country, aided by the number one defense in the country, too. So everything seems to be pretty good as of now. We're going to go live to the practice over at the Woody. We'll check in with our great friend Austin Ward coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
We know everything about you. We know you love the Buckeyes. We know you love the Jackets. We know you're wearing a red shirt. I just freaked the hell out of someone. The Fan.
At the Ohio Lottery, we make Keno fun, your way. That means you pick your wager. Will it be $1, $2, a crisp $20? Your call. Like picking your own numbers? Use any inspiration you like. Birthdays, jersey numbers, you name it. And if you don't feel like choosing, there's the Super Quick Auto Pick. With regular promotions that'll get you more bang for your Keno buck, multiple ways to win, prizes galore, and live draws every few minutes. Anytime is the right time to get in on the Keno action. Keno is always fun, your way. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
With autumn's arrival, ISA-certified arborists recommend that fallen leaves be left alone or mulched to improve plant health. When leaves decay, they transform into organic matter absorbed by the soil to become moisture to trees through their roots, which helps trees weather drought conditions. Leaves are also a natural habitat for butterflies, chipmunks, earthworms, and others, which increases the population of beneficial insects for the next growing season. To learn more about the benefits of autumn leaves, contact an ISA-certified arborist near you by going to trees4ohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
Experience Buckeye game day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
A team that studies the unique makeup of your disease to develop a personalized treatment plan.
You're choosing our region's only comprehensive cancer center designated by the National Cancer Institute.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.
The Donato's Pep Duo Pizza is back, and it brought a pal. The Donato's Pep Duo, loaded with crispy pepperoni and 3 kinds of cheese. Now get a large Pep Duo pizza for just $14.99. Also back, Donato's deliciously dippable pepperoni cheese bread. Now on the $5 Pizza Pals menu for a limited time. More toppings, more flavor, more fun. Donato's, gotta love more.
Hey Buckeyes, I'm John Chabot with Surest, a digital-first health plan designed to make healthcare simple and affordable right here in Ohio. At Surest, we believe healthy small businesses are vital to our economy. That's why we're ready to give your small business a VIP opportunity through our small business sweepstakes. Winners will be recognized on the sideline at an Ohio State home football game. To enter, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com/Surest. That's SUREST. Surest, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Wake up and laugh with the Bob and Tom Show on the Fan 2.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 10.
It says here they've won 5 Marconi Awards. I can't even spell Marconi. The Fan 2, Columbus's home of the Bob and Tom Show.
AgPro has been family owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium, presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
Fan weather
from the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Sunny skies, light winds, and a bit of a breeze out there on this Wednesday. Temperatures mid to upper 60s. Overnight, down to the low 40s with clear skies and light winds. And then during the day on Thursday, plenty of sunshine, but still breezy and cool. Only mid 60s in the afternoon. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
It's time for your daily dose of vitamin B. B stands for Buckeyes, just in case that wasn't clear. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Hey, in the spirit of Halloween, Awaken 180 is offering free consultations. Learn how scary fast and how scary easy losing weight can actually be. For mine, I brought all the questions, and in the end, Awaken 180 was an absolute no-brainer for me. Determine if Awaken 180 is right for you. The free consultations end October 31st. That is Halloween, reserved by phone only. 844-346-1800. For more details and the number again, visit awaken180weightloss.com. Scary easy with scary fast results. Right now, we head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline as we go live over to the Woody Hayes Athletic Center. He is Austin Ward. A-Ward Sports, what's the topic du jour over at the Woody today?
Well, Ohio State has a road game, Beamer, on Saturday, so we'll probably be asking about dealing with crowd noise and the weirdness that comes with going over to Champaign, where even though the forecast looks phenomenal, I'm sure that there will be a tornado by 11 a.m. Central Time on Saturday. So the clock right now, Beamer, on the outdoor field has been stuck at 0.0 at the end of period 17 for about 5 minutes. So this feels like one of those nights where I think Jay-Z knows that, maybe you're getting a little extra work on this Wednesday because you typically go through 18 periods. And it doesn't feel like they actually want to start the clock on that final period of practice tonight. So the noise, they've had the crowd noise up. They're pumping some music that I don't recognize because I'm not 19 years old. But they've got all of that very loud as they go through some of the final team period drills here on a Woody Wednesday.
I mean, I know we haven't played well in Illinois, but is it typically a loud place out there?
No, the weirdness, it's different. It's a different scenario than Washington, and I do think it's a little bit interesting to compare, what we were talking about 2 weeks ago with that first road trip for Julian Sayin and the Buckeyes and dealing with the noise. And Washington was really loud, and part of it was Ohio State actually mitigated some of the noise itself by having 20,000 scarlet and gray clad fans show up. And it seems like that's actually going to happen again on Saturday. The trip is much shorter, but as the hotel rates have steadily creeped higher and higher around Champaign and all the way to Indianapolis, if you can believe that, it feels like there are a lot more Ohio State fans grabbing tickets for that. So it's not going to be necessarily about the noise. It's not going to be this one is more about actually the quality of Illinois than 2 weeks ago where Washington, the test was, can you deal with the noise? Can you deal with the travel? I think that I'm actually a little bit surprised that I would have thought that the point spreads for those games would be flip-flopped, that Illinois would have been the game that was 8.5, 9 points, and Washington would have been 15.5. But that's not my business. That's it's just a reminder, and I guess maybe that's a broken record on the Buckeye Show, that Beamer and I think Illinois is a pretty good team. You throw out one of those records, and I think they're more than capable of making this into a fist fight.
I do too, Austin. I think it's going to be a pretty good game at 11 a.m. Central Time for you, 12 noon Eastern for us on Saturday when they do travel to the Champaign Room. Who are you getting tonight player-wise, and will Ryan Day be less fired up or the same laser-intense focus as he brought on Saturday postgame and then in yesterday's presser?
Yeah, I'm expecting more of the same. I don't think there's going to be any let-up from Ryan Day. I'd be surprised if there was. I mean, part of that is, like, there are clearly areas that he's paying attention to, and if there's an uncertainty, which, I think, we talked about last night with Kenyatta Jackson, and it was like, well, hopeful they're going to get him back. I think if it was like negative words presented in a positive light yesterday when I re-listened to Ryan Day, some of the stuff I think is, going to be health related. We're at that point of the year. You're going on the road. You're going to be banged up. You're going to be bruised a little bit. And so I don't think that Ryan Day will relent on any part of that. We're going to hear from Jeremiah Smith, Arvell Reese, Peyton Pierce, Josh Padilla, which I think is a pretty interesting one, coming off of his. He had 2 drives out there with the ones on Saturday, so there's still some ongoing intrigue, it seems, at right guard. I think everyone around here still wants to hear from Bo Jackson, but I don't think that is going to happen tonight. So we'll work off of that group. Max Clare is the other that I left out there that we'll hear from. No promise of a coach, so I won't be begging for James Laurinaitis tonight, although I still am in the midst of that drought.
Hey, Austin, some news came out this week with the 2 red shirts, of CJ and Malik.
Yeah.
What does that look like? What would have to happen for those guys to have to go back on the field? Do they have backups kind of in place for that? I mean, how do you see that all kind of happening? I mean, if a safety goes down, is Malik going to be the guy, or do they have somebody else they feel pretty good about that they can put in to keep that red shirt, going? Just talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, it's the situation I think is a bit more manageable at defensive end than it might be at safety. Mm-hmm. So, I know that CJ Hicks on Saturday, kind of his eyes got a little bit wider. Byrne was down there on the sidelines like, oh boy, this plan that they have to redshirt him might have been blown up immediately if Kenyatta Jackson had a long-term injury, something like that. But you've got at defensive end, you've got Bo Atkinson, you have Zion Grady taking a step forward. Logan George was hurt for the first couple of weeks of the season, but he's now back out there. I thought he was pretty impressive actually on Saturday and some of his more high leverage snaps. So I think that's a situation where like Ohio State doesn't want anything to be permanent and etched in stone for either CJ Hicks or Malik Hartford in this case, because if 1 or 2 dominoes fall, they're going to need those guys to get out there. They're not going to throw away the next 7 weeks of the regular season just to get to the postseason where those games don't count for those guys. And it's an interesting one. This is not a scenario that anyone prepares for, goes into the season expecting to deal with that. And, I think Fahim Delane is someone that you would be monitoring there at safety to come along and maybe take some of those reps. But it's a new one, JZ, because as they constantly change the rules, I do think that there's an element where this is an example of Ohio State looking for possible edges, both for the future roster and to get to the postseason, and what can they do. What makes sense in terms of roster retention and overall future development. But I think there's also a part of Ryan Day that he seemed a bit annoyed by it on Tuesday because these aren't the kinds of things that you want to necessarily be thinking about in the middle of the season, where it's up to C.J. Hicks and Malik Hartford if they want to be able to execute that plan, that they stay ready for the next 7 weeks, because their season is not over.
He is Austin Ward with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Austin, I believe the 13th freshman had his black stripe removed yesterday. That would be one Tavian St. Clair, quarterback out of Bell Fountain. What's his season looked like? Because I know that in the preseason, like in training camp, Ryan Day and even Tavian himself was very adamant that this was a learning year. What have you been hearing out of Tavian? Hopefully a huge role in his future at quarterback here with the Buckeyes.
Yeah, I think that he's got, be a development year. There was no guarantee that he was going to get to play in even one of those games this season. And, the opportunity that he had, I think, is going to be significant to carry forward. I think he got, even in just that one game, even just against Grambling, he got an idea of what the speed of the game is like and what it's going to require. And I think he came out of that, to be honest with you, I talked to him after one of these Wednesdays a few weeks ago, just briefly, and was like, how things are going, like, good for you. Like, you got something there that maybe you weren't anticipating. And he was kind of down. He was like, he didn't have the black stripe off at that point, obviously, but I think just like the realization, well, maybe this isn't going to be as easy as he thought it was going to be. He always knew what the plan was, but I think since then you've seen, he is one of the last people off the practice field every Wednesday night. With Phillip Bell and Desi Jones, he's been putting in the work. And so I think even just one night, and then that's a reflection when you get, praised and get called out by your teammates and the coaching staff. He's clearly handled that the right way and responded. So that's significant. And doesn't mean anything for, like, I'd still be very surprised if he played in another one of these games this year. But, anytime you're out here, you can see the physical attributes are there for him. And when he gets that seasoning underneath his belt, he's going to be really good.
What reads the scoreboard, Austin, right now over at the Woody?
Yeah, they actually, if you heard the noise pickup, we got the green light to pop inside. So they have finished practice, and the specialists have already left the field. So I can't see the scoreboard anymore, but I know that practice is over, and Ryan Day will be arriving at any moment.
Buddy, always appreciate the time. Thanks for popping on. Have a lovely Wednesday evening over at the Woody. Enjoy the rest of the week. Have a fantastic time in the Champagne Room on Saturday, and I will talk to you on Tuesday, okay?
I can't wait. See you guys.
There he goes. Austin Ward with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Former Buckeye, now desk man for NBC, Joshua Perry. He's going to react to the wild weekend in college football with us here in 2 minutes. It's the Buckeye Show on the Fan.
Hi, I'm Rick Germain for Toyota West. And with over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles available, Toyota West at I-270 and Georgesville Road has the car you're looking for. And right now at Toyota West, take advantage of 0 down and 0 payments until 2026. And every pre-owned vehicle comes with a 72-hour exchange policy plus a 3-month warranty for qualified vehicles. Come see us at the Germain Auto Mall on Georgesville Road or get started today at ToyotaWest.com. Offer expires 9/30. No payments for deferred payment. Interest accrues at time of inception with approved credit.
Skyline's new chicken chili is here. Now you can enjoy that legendary Skyline taste with a new protein option. Try Skyline's chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. Feeling good. It's Skyline time.
Realtors usually charge you 6% to sell your house, but not my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They take 1%. It's in the name. And this is full service. No shortcuts, no for sale by owner crapola. They do it all. Call 614-451-6616.
Buckeye fans, this is for you. Level up with the brand new AAA Buckeyes MVP membership. You'll receive all the benefits of AAA, such as 24/7 roadside assistance, plus chances to win tickets to Ohio State sporting events. Access to exclusive MVP experiences, along with 10% off select gear at the Ohio State Team Shop. Already a AAA member? Add the Buckeyes MVP membership for free. Head to AAA.com/Buckeyes to upgrade or join the squad and put your fandom in drive.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a Buckeye, it's the action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The only radio show that bleeds scarlet and gray. This is the Buckeye Show.
Hey, we here on the Buckeye Show, brought to you by our great friends over at United Healthcare and CareSource. Right now, we head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline again and check in with our great friend. He is former Buckeye, now on the big desk on NBC, and we got to see a lot of his face on Saturday for Ohio State, Minnesota. He is Joshua Perry. JP, thanks for the time. Always appreciate it. What did you notice from Ohio State's stellar defense yet again when it was on your network this past weekend?
I mean, it's a phenomenal unit. I mean, there's so many things that stand out, like the way that they can change up the fronts, the way that they change up the looks in the secondary, and like even that first drive, Minnesota goes down the field, and I give a lot of credit to their quarterback, Drake Lindsay. I actually think he's a really good player, but good operation. They're moving down the field, gets to the short part, the red zone, and then all of a sudden defense goes up. And that's just kind of been the story. Like maybe there's a couple yards to get in the field, but they usually tighten down, and then it becomes much more difficult after that. I love the type of defenses where you can't really score touchdowns on them, and that's the type of defense Ohio State has. So it's almost like there are too many good things that you can say, which is insane considering how good they were a year ago. It feels like they're much better this year.
Well, the Buckeyes go out to Illinois, not Chicago, here this weekend. Did you catch any of that big win over Purdue that Illinois had, 43-27? What do you think we need to be worried about going into Champaign this weekend?
Well, I mean, Illinois is a very veteran team, and I think that's why a lot of people in the preseason like them to be a dark horse to get into the college football playoff. They have an offense that can hurt you in the pass game. Luke Altmaier, their quarterback, has played really well, played good football really over the last couple years. So you got to find ways to get him rattled, and he'll hold the ball. There are opportunities to hit him because he's going to hold the ball and try to let some of the plays develop. They reloaded their wide receiver room with transfers, and they've got a couple of really good players. Hank Beatty is kind of their number one guy right now. He's been awesome. Their run game's struggling, and so I think for Ohio State, like you just draw a line early on and say that they're not going to run it on you, make them one-dimensional. You flip it over to their defense. Gabe Akis is the guy for me. He's one of their edge rushers. I think he's an NFL player. He's got really good awareness of the ball when he's rushing too, so he's not just going for the sack. He's going for a strip sack. Ball security in the pocket is going to be big. But this is also an Ohio State offensive line that doesn't really allow pressures or sacks. So I think they'll have answers for that. It's one of those games where it's difficult to try to find a path for Illinois to pull off an upset. I say that at the same time, we watched Texas go down last week. Yes. We watched Penn State go down last week in a situation where nobody thought it can happen. Everybody's got to be on high alert in college football. It feels like it's one of those years where there are probably more losses to some of the top teams than we would have anticipated this early in the year. But again, this Ohio State team is playing on a different level than everybody else.
He is Joshua Perry with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. I'm glad you went there, JP, because we were obviously going to ask you about your thoughts on Texas and Penn State. Steve Sarkisian coming out and saying, I'd like to see, multiple teams go to the Horseshoe and the Swamp and try to get wins. I'm like, well, South Florida beat Florida.
A lot of people went to the Swamp and got wins.
That has happened. I agree. Horseshoe, very tough place to play, especially first game in the season. So that was its whole thing entirely. And then you had a team who was 0-4 in UCLA, fired their head coach, all right, was 0-4. No 0-4 team to start the year has ever beaten a top 10 team all the way back since 1985. It's been 40 years since we've seen that. To you, what happened with Penn State this weekend, and how was UCLA able to put up as many points and stop them in a critical time when Drew Aller and the Nittany Lion offense was back on the field?
All right, so I think there was a buildup during the week. So when you have a tough loss like what Penn State had when they played Oregon, couple overtimes, you lose that game in a year where it's like the gotta-have-it year for you.
Yeah.
That next week can be really difficult. I remember in 2015, we lost to Michigan State on that last-second field goal, and we had to play Michigan the next week in Ann Arbor, and that was a top 10 opponent. And we come in on that Sunday, and Urban's as pale as a ghost, and this dude's basically like in the training table room, like basically mumbling like he is distraught. And so it's me and Taylor Decker and Tyvis Powell and some of the other captains, and we're like, Coach, you got to get it together. Like, we still have games to play here, obviously the most important one coming up. And I'm not sure if they had that. Like, I'm not sure anybody actually reconciled with the loss that they just took. Then you have James Franklin, who famously complains that the runway in State College is too small for them to take the big airplane. So they have to travel 2 hours to Harrisburg so they can fly cross country. He did it a year ago when they played USC, and Tyler Warren had to have 18 catches in that game, like snapped the ball literally on the same play he caught a touchdown for them to be able to come back. That guy wasn't there anymore. So they go out to the West Coast, and they're feeling bad for themselves, and they're feeling bad about all the travel. And here's a UCLA team, fired their coach. They've got a new offensive play caller who basically got the play sheet on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday.
And he's like 12 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, he literally looks like he's 12 years old. It's the most insane thing. Like, I mean, it's like a mix between Macaulay Culkin and Sunshine off of Remember the Titans.
Yes, let's go.
But anyway, you have all that. And by the way, Nico Iamaleava, 5-star, everything. There was a reason people were excited about that guy, and you let him dominate the game. So there's a defense issue, right, where like UCLA should have never been able to put up that many points. And then there's the offense issue where I think Penn State's offense, like the OC, Andy Kotelnicki, needs to be held accountable for the crimes against Drew Aller that he's committed, where that offense has no continuity. They just like call plays. There's no rhythm to it. There's too many formations, too many shifts, too many motions, too many personnel. And you have a good quarterback who's constantly thinking and then gets down in a game and stops thinking and balls out. That whole thing's insane, but it felt like a perfect storm for a wild upset, and that's exactly what we got.
Does it feel like you, and I know you and I had these conversations last year with Andy Kotelnicki, and it was against Ohio State when I wasn't really sure what they were trying to do on offense, and yet it popped its nasty head up again. Like, am I crazy for saying it's like Coach Klein out of the water boy? Like, we're going to fake to the left. No, we're going to fake to the right. We're going to think to fake. I don't know where I'm at. The room is closing in on me. I need to sit down. Like, that's kind of where I'm at with Penn State's offense, JP.
It's exactly what it is. And I'll give you two examples. So against Ohio State last year, they get into the red zone. They had first and goal, actually. And they went 4 plays, and Tyler Warren didn't touch the football at all, right? That was their offense last year. He was the best player on their team, and he didn't get the football at all. Then the 4th down at the end of the game against UCLA, what do? They run quarterback power read with Drew freaking Aller. And those running backs that they have, what I would do, like I formation, I'm running it through your face, and if you can stop us that way, then like more power to you. But we're just better. And to me, that is a coordinator who has zero identity as a play caller, where you can get a sequence of 4 plays, goal to go, and you don't get it to your best player one time, and then at the end of the game, you decide that you're going to say, I'm going to let my quarterback, who's a good athlete, but certainly not a running quarterback, I'm going to run Q power with him as my gotta-have-it play. It is insanity, and James Franklin's just letting it happen.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing with all the money that they kind of put into the program thing, and this was going to be their year to go make it happen, and then they have that. You think that loss to UCLA makes them start really thinking about a change at the head spot there in Penn State?
I mean, $56 million is the question you're asking, right? Like, agents run the world, right? They get all the quarterbacks in the NFL paid even if they don't need to, and they get these coaches with massive buyouts to where you're in this situation. And as a university, you're kind of tied with your hands behind your back. You can't do it. James Franklin, Nicole Auerbach, one of my colleagues, said that, like, this might be the opportunity for him to look around. It'd be $2 million if he left, and the new school would probably cover that. Like, maybe, but I'll say this about James Franklin. He is a great program builder. He did it at Vanderbilt. He took Penn State over at a time where things were very tenuous. He was the second coach after Paterno, and he's gotten that program to where you're like New Year's Six in the old model every year, and now you're like college football playoff, and even this year they were talking about a national championship. They need somebody who can take them over the hump now, and James Franklin probably needs to look at a Virginia Tech or maybe in Arkansas, a place where he can build again, which is what he's really good at. And it would be a great mutual decision for the university and for James Franklin.
What are you most looking forward to here this weekend? It's a rather good slate when you compare Big Ten games. Obviously, Ohio State going on the road to Champaign to take on Illinois. Outside of that, JP, you also get Michigan traveling West Coast to play USC. And then a huge one out on the West Coast again, where Fernando Mendoza and the 7th-ranked Indiana Hoosiers, undefeated, travel out to Eugene to play Oregon. What are you most looking at this weekend?
Give me that game in Eugene.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I think both of those coaches are psychopaths in a very positive way. Like,
yes.
I have asked the question multiple times in my head, if those guys weren't coaches, what would they be doing, and would it be legal? Like, that is how
Probably
crazy
not.
I think they are.
They'd be on a watch
and
list.
I think it is a benefit to them. That's going to be fun. I think they're two of the most well-coached teams in the country, by the way, as well, and really a really good quarterback battle. As you mentioned, the one out in L.A. is the one that we have in prime time. Guys, Bryce Underwood is getting better by the week. He doesn't make a ton of mistakes. He's starting to figure out how to really throw the football in a way where guys aren't seeing it come at them a million miles an hour. They got Andrew Marsh, who's a young wide receiver who's starting to emerge. Justice Haynes is playing as well as any running back in the country right now. And Wink Martindale's defense has steadily gotten better. And they got to take the long trip to play a USC team that I think has fallen maybe a little bit short of some expectations after that Illinois loss. But Jaden Mayava has every throw available to him. They've got a deep stable of wide receivers. Lincoln Riley's run schemes are on point this year. It's going to come down to the USC defense, and if they can get a couple stops, so it's going to be an exciting game.
It's going to be a good day for the Buckeyes. Get in, get out, get your job done, and then to kick back and watch the rest of the college football slate on Saturday. JP, always appreciate the time. Thanks for hopping on with us. Have a great rest of the week. Enjoy work on Saturday, buddy, and we'll check in again next week, all right?
All right, appreciate you guys.
There he goes, Joshua Perry with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. A lot of good stuff out of him. We didn't get the time to ask him about this program we're going to talk about next, because it turns out just because you win more Super Bowls than any other coach in history doesn't immediately translate to the college game. We'll do that in the Pulse coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on the Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
As a former pro athlete, confidence has always been key for me on and off the field. And that's why I chose CAP for my NeoGraft treatment. They've got a great reputation. After doing my research, I knew I could trust the team right here in town. The staff was professional, answered every question, and made the whole process smooth and stress-free. The results are natural. It fit my busy schedule, and I already feel more confident. CAPS made it easy, judgment-free, and honestly, one of the best decisions I've made. Visit CAPS today at experiencecaps.com.
Hey, Columbus. It's Lorenzo Stiles Jr., Ohio State student-athlete. It's football season, and just like on the field, success starts with the right game plan and the right team. That's why I'm proud to team up with Monogram Homes. They're the true custom home builder, bringing precision, creativity, and attention to every detail, just like we do on Saturdays. If you're ready to build, don't settle for standard. Go custom. Go Monogram. Visit monogramhomes.net to start building today. Monogram Homes, a builder you can trust.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, where can you get a full suite of business banking services served up by well-trained, caring employees with unquestionable integrity? It's right here at Heartland. Relationships matter. I'm Scott McComb. Come over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium, presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix, guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with low prices in every aisle. And you never compromise your appetite with our golden brown bread that's baked fresh in store. And you never compromise your wallet with our low prices. Kroger shoppers never compromise. Kroger. fresh for everyone.
The 2026 Buckeye Cruise for Cancer sets sail on the Silver Sea Silver Ray. It's an intimate ship with an even better experience. It's all-inclusive of beverages, shore excursions, taxes, and gratuities. Sail to bucket list ports like the Grand Turk, St. Martin, and St. Thomas. With Buckeye greats including Ryan Day, Bobby Carpenter, A.J. Hawk, the Boren Brothers, Ezekiel Elliott, Ryan Shazier, and more. Sailing from Fort Lauderdale, February 17th through the 24th. Call 614-792-6204 to book today.
Your new Columbus home for the Jim Rome Show is the Fan 2.
Catch the live experience weekdays from 3 to 6.
Just one requirement. Have a take and don't suck. The Fan 2, Columbus's home of the Jim Rome Show.
Did you want information on the Ohio Lottery's Rolling Cash 5? Okay. Rolling Cash 5 is a daily draw game where you select 5 numbers from 1 to 39 and win by matching 2, 3, 4, or 5 numbers. Jackpots start at $100,000 and grow until someone wins. You can learn more at OhioLottery.com or the Ohio Lottery app. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly. Want to go back to the radio? Okay.
While we know Central Ohio has the best football team, did you know we have the best credit union too? It's easy to fall for CME, Ohio's #1 credit union, recognized nationally and statewide by Forbes and rooted right here in Central Ohio. CME Federal Credit Union, bank with the best. Membership eligibility required. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing lender. Visit cmefcu.org.
It's almost Football Friday. All play and no work.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for football, the Fan. We're very close to Buckeye football. Very close. Uncomfortably close. You're listening to the Buckeye Show.
Before we get into the Pulse, again, coming up here at the top of the hour, got the Inside Edge with Bobby Mack, Jody Shelley, all kinds of good stuff for you. And before we get out of here today at 971thefan.com or on X at 971thefan, you could vote in our fan poll. And I am not allowed to vote in the fan poll. This is just for you, Justin, and for you, Isaiah. If you are a Browns fan, are you rooting for Baker Mayfield to have success with the Buccaneers? Yes, no, not a Browns fan. I can't vote.
Why can't you vote?
It says not a Browns fan. That's what I had to pick.
Yeah. I root for him. I hope he wins the MVP and Super Bowl.
He looks like it.
I'm so mad they got rid of him.
And
I hope he has so much success.
Emeka Egbuka is one of the best rookies to ever come out.
Now, granted, if he was in Cleveland, he might not be having that kind of success because Emeka wouldn't be there.
You don't know that.
Well,
That's revisionist history.
Yeah.
Alternate reality. Yeah, he is fun to watch. The Bucs are fun to watch. Big comeback victory for them over the weekend again. That's kind of their MO. That's their calling card.
I think they have like 3 games where they've won in the last series or something like that.
It was a quite the showcase for Jackson Smith and Jigba and Emeka Egbuka on Sunday during
Makes me
game.
sick.
Does it?
Oh, yeah. I love Baker, and I hope he has success, but what I'd give for Emeka Egbuka and Baker to be on the Browns right now,
gosh. Yeah,
I can't even. And the one thing, too, with Baker is, like, the thing on the Browns was he couldn't orchestrate those game-winning drives.
Yeah.
And now...
That's all he's doing.
If he'd have just had surgery and not played the rest of that season, who knows what
I'd
it
be
would look
sleeping
like.
good at night.
We all would be. That's right. Instead of dreading Sunday, we'd be happy about
Yeah,
Sunday.
you got Dylan Gabriel, though. You're fine.
Don't even.
Listen to him.
Hey, I'm just saying.
We had 4 quarterbacks 5 weeks ago. Now we have 2.
Yeah. Well, you got 3
with
you got
Billy Zappi or
yeah,
whatever
you
his
got
name
the
is.
Zappy hour.
Yeah.
Who may be the backup. Who knows?
He'll be the starter by the end of the year. That's how it goes in Cleveland.
It is a crazy situation right now for them. And then Joe Flacco's going to, I don't know, maybe take the Bengals.
Take the Bengals to the playoffs. Here we go.
We'll see what happens. Let's do the Pulse.
It's time for the College Football Pulse on the Buckeye Show.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
It's been quite the week for North Carolina and Bill Belichick, Isaiah, because you had the news that came out, I don't know if this was yesterday or today, that Hulu is dropping them, that they will not be airing their live in-season documentary that they signed up for. And then you also had some news today about Bill Belichick and perhaps his future with the Carolina Tar Heels, Isaiah.
Yeah, it shows here that Belichick not so certain about the future here. And also, along with that, the Hulu documentary was supposed to be broadcast this fall.
Yeah.
And now it's completely gone.
I think people would pay a lot of money to just watch what they have, just to see like what was going on behind the scenes.
It makes me question like how bad things are behind closed doors because they've been filming, so that means they just threw away all of it.
Yeah, all that time, effort, and money that Hulu spent to getting the rights for it.
It's not worth it anymore.
Someone said, and I forget who said it on Twitter, like, if I'm Duke, I'm paying a ridiculous amount of money for that, and then I'm showing that as recruiting videos to like negative recruit against Carolina. Ollie Connolly, who covers North Carolina, here's what he had to say today. Per sources, Bill Belichick has discussed buyout options with North Carolina's hierarchy. Belichick has signaled a willingness to trigger his own $1 million buyout if he can find a soft landing with another team or in media. Members of his coaching staff have already spoken to other schools that are expected to be in the playoff about taking roles during the postseason. From one coach, the Rats are leaving the ship. Some staffers believe a change will happen within the next 2 weeks. Reports of serious recruiting violations remain under investigation there. Recruiting and practice violations have already been proven by the school, according to multiple sources. It is.
I didn't know there was a violation anymore.
Either.
I thought it was the Wild West.
I don't know what a violation consists of. I don't know what the rules are. I don't think anybody does.
The practicing I could get. I'm sure he just has those guys out there way more than they're supposed to be. But when it comes to recruiting, I thought you could do anything nowadays.
Says his communication with staff in the past 2 weeks has been described as, quote, weird and distant by multiple members of their coaching staff. Multiple coaches were unable to get a hold of him during the bye week. And from one UNC defensive assistant, what we've done to these kids is blanked up. That's as scathing of an in-season review for a guy who has not already been fired yet as you are ever going to find, with quotes from people on staff during a live college football season. You can't find him during the bye week? What's he doing?
He's out doing gymnastics with his girlfriend on the beach.
He's doing
some more
something.
poses, taking pictures for Instagram.
Now, listen, I think we all had fun at the idea of Bill Belichick was going to come to college football and, like, rule the roost. I don't know if you believed he would, Justin. I didn't think that it would be this bad in this big of a hurry, considering during the preseason, as much media attention he was getting, he was telling you, like, hey, this isn't going to be good. We brought a lot of portal guys in.
70 guys.
It's going to be tough. Like, it's not a one-year process. And so far on the season, they are 2-3. They do have to go out of the West Coast on Friday to face a 4-2 Cal team. Yeah, not the story you want coming out, where you're looking for other jobs as a soft landing for an other team or in media.
That's tough. You know, I didn't expect him to like go to the playoffs this year, but like when I saw what Matt Patricia did in week 1, I'm like, huh, okay, Bill Belichick's going to have something dialed up to confuse these guys or whatnot. And then he just doesn't have the players that we have here, of course. But, you know, I don't know how anybody thought him coming in he was going to change his personality or be somebody that he's really not shown anybody. You know, maybe behind closed doors, he's, you know, cracks a joke or two. But, I mean, outwardly, he is who he is, and I feel like that probably just doesn't go over well, especially when you're losing.
Yeah, wasn't expecting to get 6 weeks into the college football season. He was looking to pay his own buyout to get out of North Carolina.
That's great.
Wild scene. Isaiah, what else you got for us tonight?
How about John Mateer, Oklahoma quarterback, pushing a return for Saturday's game against Texas? Should Oklahoma try to bury Texas' playoff chances with Mateer or play some long game here? Right now, Texas, 12% chance of making the college football playoff.
Yeah, I mean, they just look...
What exactly did he have done to his hand? Because I know the coach doesn't even know. He said, I don't even know what's wrong.
Yeah, I don't either.
So he just had surgery.
Yeah. I'm sure he knows. I'm sure
the coach does, but I think he did say, well, I'm not sure what the injury is.
So he had a broken bone in his right throwing hand.
Okay.
Okay.
So we don't know if that was a pinky, if that was a thumb.
When he finished the game, right? Because, I mean, he finished the game that they won, and then he decided to have surgery on it. I think you got to play the long game if you're them, right?
I don't know.
It's a long season, though, but their schedule is brutal.
Yeah.
And so any loss, like the rest of the way, they played like 6 ranked teams. So if they drop this one, thankfully the committee's in action, so like they could be like, well, the Texas loss doesn't even count because they had Mateer.
That is true, but as a rival standpoint, and this is their biggest game of the season, and when we were talking about a couple of years ago, Texas and Oklahoma are coming to the SEC, and then Texas in year 1 does what they do. They go to a college football playoff. They get to an an SEC championship game. They got beat in the semifinals, but they're there again 2 years in a row. You have a chance to unleash John Mateer yet again. Like, these two teams have flip-flopped, like, from the preseason of what we thought that they were.
Yep.
And you have a chance to bury your rival in Red River, send them home without a playoff appearance, and you get a win in this game. I don't know. I mean, I know that you want to play for the playoffs. To your point, Isaiah, their schedule is brutal. They're at South Carolina coming up in a couple of weeks, home against Ole Miss, at Neyland against Tennessee, at Alabama, and then home against Missouri and LSU to finish the season. So it is tough, but it's Texas.
If you don't have your quarterback, it's that much harder to get any of those games.
It's Texas, right?
Hey, I want him to play. Throw him out there. Come on now. Let's do it.
I'm sure he wants to play. I mean, if it's something where, and that's the thing. If it's something where it's not going to make it worse, hey, just play through the pain, then he'll play.
Yeah, exactly.
But if it's something,
there's a chance to break your hand where you're going to miss the next 5 weeks.
Yeah, if there's a chance of something worse happening, then no, you sit him. But if he can just fight through the pain and he wants to, which he does, I'm sure, go let it rip.
It's a bucket lister for me. We're going to Red River to watch that game. I would like that. I feel like just pandemonium every year. Like, especially when they were back in the Big 12 and it would be like 70-65. Like,
when there's no defense play.
No, none in the league at all. Jay-Z had a fantastic time tonight. Let's do it again Saturday, much earlier than what we did this last week. Okay?
Yeah.
Everybody have an awesome night. Murph Dog is with me tomorrow for an hour and a half. The Inside Edge is up next right here on The Fan.
Matty Ice is currently bathing himself in creamy jalapeno dip. And I've officially run out of ways to tease this show. Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan.